Right, I think we're on. Do you want to be part of it again? Here's my assistant. We're back. Feel like it's been a while since we've been on camera, hasn't it? What are you sniffing me chin for? Do I stink? What? Thanks. Right, do you want to be... You're just going to sit on my lap here? Do you want to go down? Yes, people. Your fucking wet nose, man. Right, you're going down. Yes, people, welcome back to Brendan Pearson Fitness. We have a ladder in the background. Yes, that's the latest investment. But I feel like it's been ages since I recorded something. I have recorded a leg day video, which we are going to jump into. Recorded it a while ago, just haven't had a chance to edit it. I'm worried about the dog eating stuff. Anyway, before we jump into the leg day video, I wanted to quickly give a review of Foresight Nutrition Refocus. So I've done a little bit of an inside sup. Can you stop chewing me pocket? Mate. Right, anyway, yes, so inside supplements, Foresight Nutrition Refocus. This is more of a cognitive enhancer. So I'm trying to lower my caffeine intake a little bit at the minute. So this only has 100 milligrams of caffeine. So if you're someone who does have a lot of caffeine, excuse the dog, she's gonna get involved. You're getting involved in the review, you're being a pest. So if you are someone who has a lot of caffeine or maybe struggles to kind of come off it, say you're having like 2 or 3 white monsters a day, which is 150 milligrams of caffeine, this could be a good alternative. Or if you're someone who has a lot of work to do, like editing, I don't know, a lot presentation to prepare for, uni work, cognitive enhancers will help you focus. Again, I wouldn't get reliant on them. However, considering it's only got 100 milligrams of caffeine, I want to give it a go when I'm busy, because at the minute I'm quite busy with PT and stuff, so it's a bit of a nightmare. Only 20 servings in here. It's a very small serving. Go on, get yourself down. So we're going to give it a whirl and see what it's like. I have got about 250 ml of water. Also got my scales to make sure that I am putting the right amount in. I'm going to see what it's like. So one serving is, this is 1 scoop to be fair. Doesn't say measurement. So we're just gonna scoop it and go hope for the best. Flavour is grape, so you know. So one very generous, level-headed, honest scoop. Let's see. 6 grams apparently. That's what it looks like. Doesn't look too great, but mixed okay. Ooh. Not fantastic, but I'm not really bothered about the taste, I'm more bothered about what it's like. So, I'm gonna crack on with this leg day. I'm gonna be editing it and doing the voiceover while sampling the drink, so we'll see how long it takes to get in the system. I should have really done this test fasted, however, I had food probably about an hour ago. I was starving. Let's get on with the leg day. Yes, people, welcome back to Brendan Pearson Fitness. So, last week we walked through an upper body workout back at the gym. Today we are going to walk through my leg day, more specifically my squat day at the home gym. So yeah, we're going to jump straight into it. Got an hour and a half, 90 minutes to get this in. Warm up, little mobility, activation. I've already done my mobility inside, which I do every single morning, which I'll put a little thing on somewhere, time lapse. And yeah, going to get activated, going to get warm, do some squats, some split squats, some conditioning, and then some accessories to finish. Similar sort of setup as my upper body, but we'll jump into it, get started, and I will walk you through why I do it, why I do it, and yeah, let's go. So starting off mobility, I have ran through my mobility warm-up routine and stuff for squats before, so we'll quickly fly over it. Dorsiflexion, I've had ankle injuries, but if you are someone who struggles to get deep in squats or has bad ankle mobility, the ability to drive the knee over the toe will help you get a little bit deeper. So just doing the stretch, dorsiflexion stretch, band will loosen off the ankle, drive the knees over the toe, stretching off the back of the calf. If you don't know the stretch by now and you're watching my videos, then you should know. but I do these before every single squat session. Then I move on to the assault bike, just 20 calories, get the heart rate going. Sometimes do a few rounds of this one, so my whole routine I might run through it twice, just to get your heart rate going. Lateral band walks, get the glutes firing, get the abductors, so your glute muscles firing, so it can help drive your knee over your toes. This exercise will help a little bit with knee pain as well, which is something that I've suffered with. Again, apologies for the autofocus, I forgot to focus it. And then some banded squats around the knees, just again, getting them abductors warm. A little bit of a heel elevation just to help us get a bit more depth. Warming up 15 reps or so, just to get the body feeling good. Warm-ups are all about feeling good, going into training, feeling the best you can. A little bit of co-activation with some dead bugs, so keeping a neutral spine, keeping that pelvic stability through a back squat will massively help you reduce, obviously, back pain. You don't want that any sort of movement between your lumbar spine. You want to keep that pelvis stable. Then we move into a few warm-up sets of squats. With the bar, I'm just getting comfortable, loosening off my adductors, getting nice and deep into a squat, working on that range of motion. Just start to slowly add some weight, starting at like 10, 15, 20 reps with a bar, and then slowly increasing up. Still got that little heel elevation again. I'm 6'5", I'm a little bit taller. Even if I've got good ankle mobility, my limbs are long and I need a little bit of help. So moving on to my working sets. So I think I was doing sets of 12 today, a little bit higher reps. My program kind of starts higher reps, and as you go through it, you go a little bit heavier. Again, just trying to keep everything as tight as possible, keeping my core as stable as possible, avoiding any sort of pelvic tilt or pelvic rotation. I've had a lot of lower back injuries. This session, I do have to adapt my session. So this is kind of a good real life example of not every single session goes to plan. Obviously having to adjust, which you'll see in a second. This is the set, again, apologies for the autofocus, but this is the set where I have to adjust a little bit because I felt a little tweak in my lower back. So looking back at my clips, I can see that the bottom of my lumbar spine where my pelvis is slightly rotating in. So it's something I probably need to work on, shooting my hips a little bit further back. Probably is what caused the pain. So you'll see in a second there's a rep where I finish it and something just didn't feel right. I felt a little something in my back. Yeah, so sessions like this is why I kept these. I could have just scrapped the whole session completely because my session kind of went to pot. I felt it not to pot completely, but it wasn't ideal. So I kept this session in to show that I still do get little niggles here and there. I've had a lot of injuries, so I'm going to have to accept the occasional little niggle, and I'm going to have to adjust my session. Now, if you go into the gym and you're very stubborn with yourself and you have a set plan, and you're 2 sets into back squat, which is your first exercise, and you pick up a little niggle, your back goes, or you feel something in your knee, and you try and push through that, you're going to make that injury 10 times worse than if you just went, you know what, I'm either going to leave it, do some recovery stuff, maybe stretch, mobility, whatever I think is going to be best for it, or I'm going to adapt my session, which is what I did. Because it was a back injury, I knew that I could do things out when my spine wasn't loaded, so I ended up moving on to dumbbell split squats, just skipping back squats altogether. Obviously, there's a lot of load through your spine anyway on back squats, and I do have a slip vertebra. My L5 vertebra is slipped slightly, so looking back at my technique, wasn't too bad. I might just have to be cautious of my depth. Again, when I was getting to the bottom, you could see that slight little curvature of my lumbar spine inwards. Could have been putting a little bit of pressure on my disc, so I need to keep on working on that hip mobility to help that. But if you do get little niggles when you are training, adjust your session. And if you're someone who constantly keeps getting niggles but keeps trying to push through and is very stubborn with the exercise and needs to get it all done, take a step back, maybe go and see a specialist, go and see someone who knows what they're talking about. Very good physio, obviously there's some good physios, there's some bad physios, but a good physio, don't know, anybody who you know who's a specialist who knows about these sort of things, they can give you some advice, they can give you some alternative exercises, some things that are a little bit safer. So I'm big on that. I would love to say that I could back squat stupidly heavy, deadlift stupidly heavy all the time. However, not everybody can do that. And I think longevity and being able to look good, feel good, and also move good long term is more important than how much you can back squat when you're 20 years old. Because when you're 45, 50, 60, you've got back issues because you've got your 1 rep maximum. When you were 20, you got 180 kilograms, whatever it is. Think about that. Think about the big picture. It wasn't really worth it. So, yes. Anyway, back to the session. We'll move on to the next little bit. Felt a little twinge in my back there. This is the annoying thing. When you start feeling little twinges in your back, You have to adapt your sessions. I think I didn't warm up enough. So it's my fault. I would learn from it. It's frustrating. But gonna make the most of the session, move on to the next exercise, which is gonna be split squats. So like I said, annoying, done my back in. However, split squats. So added these in. If anybody follows the knee over toe guy on Instagram, get following him. So he had a lot of troubles with his knees, similar to me. But this is one of the exercises that he massively pushes. Again, we're going to start with our weak foot forward. The right toe is going to be in the back, and I'm going to really exaggerate, trying to drive this left knee forward over the toe. So I'm working on a really, really deep squat, working a lot of dorsiflexion, driving the knee forward. I'm going to pop back up, make sure we're squeezing this back quad. 2 dumbbells to the side, drive up. 3 sets to 12, about a minute rest in between each side, so we're getting plenty of recovery in. We'll get started. So yes, moving on to the split squat, one of my favorite exercises. Now, a couple of my clients are always ask me, why the hell is this your favorite exercise? Unilateral, because not a lot of people do single leg stuff. There's no real load on the spine because the dumbbells are by your side. It builds strength in deep flexion, so like a deep squat, driving your knees over your toes. A lot of people can't get to the bottom of a squat like this, and they get a lot of knee pain when they're in deep squat. So building the strength up like this, there's a lot of balance involved, there's a lot of stability. You work in both legs at the same time, and it's a bitch of an exercise. You will build strong glutes, strong quads, strong everything, lower body wise, if you do these and build them up and try and progress them as much as you can. So 3 sets, 12 reps, working the last set probably close to failure. Again, my back was fine doing these, and yeah, moving on to the next exercise. Right, that's the easy stuff done. Now we're going to move on to our conditioning. So we're going to go 5 rounds, similar, literally the same thing that I did in my upper body session with the push-ups and the rower. I'm going to do it with salt bike, 20 calories, 20 goblet squats. I'm going to use about 22 kilograms for the goblet squat, so this is going to burn like mad. These sort of workouts are more mental than anything else, so put these in your training. Trust me, you'll be able to push a little bit harder, train to failure, your intensity will shoot through the roof, and you'll be stronger for it. So, going to get in 5 rounds of time, salt bike, goblet squats, 20 of each. Let's go. 2, 1, let's go. Like I said, these sort of workouts are an absolute bitch. A lot of the time it is just mind over matter more than anything, mind over body. Pushing yourself as much as you can, especially one that's a little bit longer, that like 10 minutes plus. Things like AMRAPs, anything like that, they're just mental. I love finishing my workouts, well, I love to hit these sort of workouts, put them in at the end of your session, make you feel so good after. You can see this is my last round, I'm absolutely dead. The mental struggle that you go through, and then knowing that when you finish it, that you put everything into it, that kind of endorphin release afterwards is amazing. And this is where you'll start getting results, not just physically, but also mentally in other aspects of your life. You can see how ruined I am at the end of this. Oh, that wasn't fun. Do not try this at home, or in the gym, or anywhere.
Much later.
Nasal breathing. Fuck doing CrossFit. So yeah, sorry Dave Castro, I'm not doing CrossFit, mate. But finished off a few accessory movements, 3 sets of 15 gym ball hamstring curls. These burn like absolute mad. Then I went on to terminal knee extensions, 3 sets of 15, a little bit of knee rehab, working the VMO. Again, I've covered this in previous videos before, so I'll quickly run over it. 3 sets of 20 calf raises, single leg each side, nice control eccentric, pause at the bottom, drive up. Do not rush these, take your time with them, slow and controlled movements. Finish up with some stretching, especially to try and loosen off the hips because that lower back tightened up. This one, really good stretch, get the band right round your hip so it can push that hip forward. Couch stretch with the back foot elevated, slightly leaning to the side to get a little bit more into that hip. Pigeon stretch, elevated on a box, again stretching off the glutes, working external rotation of the hip. Another one, if you get tightness in your lower back and your hips, definitely loosen them off, try and relax into it, drop that chest down as low as you can. So I was doing these especially to lower off my lower back, loosen off my lower back. You can't really see it very well, but single leg banded hamstring stretch. Again, loosen off the hamstrings, loosen off the hips, which will help loosen off the back a little bit. If your hamstrings are tight, that will pull on your lower back, pull on your pelvis. And then a little bit of knee stretching. So this is one again from the knee over toe guy. Stretching off the quads. Now this really does pull in my patella. So I've had patella surgery before, but try and get to the point where I can get my shoulders flat on the ground, loosen off the quads, the hips, and then also trying to work on pulling myself up unassisted, something I'm going to work on. Now this is the fun bit, to loosen up my back, a little bit of spinal decompression. So I'm sticking these little straps around my ankles which you can hook onto a bar. I think I got them off Amazon. Go on the pull-up bar, hang my feet upside down. Really good to decompress the spine after some back squats, or if you've got a little bit of maybe a slipped disc, a little bit of impingement, anything at all. Release a little bit of pressure in the discs. Also good for recovery after leg day, just to drain a little bit of lactic acid out the legs. But that is the leg day when I had to obviously adapt a little bit to my training because of the slight little injury. So if you are someone who does get them little niggles, adjust your training, make sure you're doing plenty of mobility, just adapt the exercises, maybe choose a single leg variant or something when your spine's not loaded. But yes, you can still get good sessions and just have to obviously adapt. Review of this Foresight Nutrition Refocus. So I've been using it, probably an hour and a half now, so I've had plenty of time. I can tell that my focus is a little bit better. Caffeine wise, it's not too much of a stimulant boost. I do feel a bit more obviously energetic and stuff like that, but it's only 100 milligrams of caffeine, so it's nothing crazy. I can probably tell from the way that I'm talking that I am a little bit more hyped up, but my focus was pretty spot on. What's it been now? I think it's been about 9 minutes. It's starting to fade a little bit, but taste wise, not ideal taste wise, but it's more about the focus. I do feel like I'm very focused on the task at hand. I'm hammering out this video. So yes, if you're looking for something that's a bit more cognitive enhancing and less stimulant based, something just to get your focus on point if you want to focus on a task, crack out a few hours of work, I'd probably say this is still pretty good. I think I've still got a little bit of energy left in me. I'm going to finish off editing this video. Might do some more pre-workout reviews because the MV pre video was one of my most recent and one of my most viewed videos. So if you'd like to see any pre-workout reviews, I'm a big fan of a pre-workout. Let me know down below in the comments. I have just bought a new one as well, along with this. I think it's called like Superhuman or something like that. So I might do a review on that because I am part of the caffeine junkie crew, unfortunately, which I would not recommend. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Any recommendations for videos in the future, pre-workouts, or whatever it is, I'm gonna try and keep these videos going the best I can. Hope you've enjoyed it. Just comment down below. Like as always, subscribe, especially for little Lola down below, who is getting bigger and bigger by the day. And I will see you in the next video. Over and out.